back to my channel. It's been a hot minute, and the last time you guys saw me I was a new mom, but so much has been going on, so I'm back. There's more content coming. It's been a whole lot going on. So what's been going on is, first I had the baby. You guys saw my last video. If you haven't seen it, go back and I'll link it down below. It's all about postpartum, what you should expect. But since then we have moved into a new house. As you guys can see, the scenery is a little bit different. We moved across the city, so we were very north of Birmingham. Now we are very south of Birmingham. We lost both of our fur babies, which was a lot. And then Nala, of course, she's now 8 months, so she is so big. She's getting into everything, I tell you. We are in like full baby proof mode. We've got like 90% done, all the important stuff, but we're still little stuff we have to get. But she is full on, has like her top row of teeth, excuse me, coming in. She is not really wanting to crawl. She is like, we think, in her pediatrician thinks she's just gonna go straight to walking, and she's picking up everything. Everything's going in her mouth. It's just, she's full blown a little grown woman. And send help for me, y'all, because I'm not coming to terms that she's going to be one very soon. But yeah, so a lot of people just want to know what's going on. We moved because right now the pandemic, the interest rates are super low for a new house, and we kind of knew when I got pregnant that we kind of were outgrowing the house already. And then once we saw that our daughter started just accumulating so much stuff, like her closet space wasn't enough, like the house just wasn't enough. In the middle of our house, like, we have stairs going downstairs to our garage / basement, and it just wasn't safe because eventually when I had her, I think she was maybe like 6 to 8 weeks old, I was going down the stairs to get in the car, and I had her in my arms like this. And so like, I had her and we were going down the steps, so I wasn't holding onto the rail, and I missed the step and literally like hit my head, but my instinct was her, so like I just went like this and had her. So I hit my head, and like, no lie, I think I sprained my ankle, but I never went to get it checked. And so ever since then we were like, no, we're moving. It's not kid friendly. It was really hard when we were looking at baby proofing the steps, so it just wasn't a kid friendly home. And also it was just out there like in the country, which I love the country. And I fell in love living out there. But just in perspective, having kids, we just wanted like a neighborhood and a community. So like having other kids for her to play with. Where we live now, it is we live in a subdivision. We have an HOA, we have 2 pools, we have 2 or 3 playgrounds. It's a lot of kids in the neighborhood. It's centrally located as well to a lot of different things. So where we were living, if we needed to go grocery shopping or get something, we just had like a little Winn-Dixie. Now, like literally 5 minutes up the road, we have a Walmart, we have a Publix. Target is like 10 minutes away, so, which Target is my favorite store, shout out to y'all. But everything is just more family friendly. And as a mom, it's just, if I need to go get something for the baby, her pediatrician is also closer, so I literally just hop on the freeway and I'm at her doctor's office. So it's just a lot more things mom and family friendly for us to live here. And again, I just wanted that sense of community because I want her to have kids to play with. Like when it snowed, like there's nobody out there to play with. Like literally just our one neighbor had a baby, and her baby was a year older than Nala, and so that was it. Like there wasn't any other kids or anything. And like we had a main road that lived like where we used to live, and so cars would just fly. So it was like, and our house was on a hill. So it was like, if she wanted to ride her bike, we were also always like really nervous. Like, what if she wants to ride her bike and she just goes down the hill and like there's nothing on the other side, so she would just literally like just fling across the street. And then if cars are flying by, it's just not safe, and it wasn't conducive. The only thing I really miss out there is I really miss her neighbors, and I really miss like our backyard. But also, when we lost our fur babies, it was a lot of memories in that house that I think we were needing to move on from with the fur babies, because we were closing one chapter of losing our fur babies but opening a new chapter of solidifying our family. So moving here, we went from a 3-bedroom 2-bath house to now a 5-bedroom 3.5 bath here. like double the square footage, almost 3,000 square feet. Let me know in the comments below if you want a house tour, or you want, just message me if you want us to do a house tour. We've not finished decorating because it's been a lot going on, but I'm doing room by room. Her playroom, as you guys can see, is pretty much done. There's going to be a few tweaks because as she's getting older, we're changing out some of her toys in here. But yeah, so a lot of people wanted to know what happened with our fur babies, because if you know me or you know us, I've had Bella, which is our girl dog, which I'll post a picture of her here. And I've had her, we got her in 2009, excuse me, but I had her when I got to college by myself. I had her since I was in 2013 when I moved into my first apartment by myself. And so she was 11 years old, and it just was really traumatic because when I was pregnant, she's super affectionate with me. I'm super affectionate with her. Her birthday, we had just celebrated her birthday April 15th of this year, and if I start crying or get teary-eyed, I'm so sorry. But she was my baby. Anybody that knows me knows that was my kid before I had a kid. Like, she was my firstborn. And so when I was pregnant, I noticed like she wasn't really affectionate. Like, if I tried to like put her head on my stomach for her to feel inclusive, because like our doctor kept saying, like, you know, if you have animals, try and include them in your pregnancy and see how they respond. But every time I like put her head on my tummy or try and get close to her, she really wasn't feeling it. She never growled at me. She was never ever aggressive with me ever. But so many kisses, like, she was my baby. And every single night she came into the bed and she slept on my side, and we'd cuddle all night, and in the morning she'd turn over and give me kisses. And I miss them so much. Oh my goodness, I miss them so much. And I miss my baby so much. And so when I was pregnant, I noticed she just wasn't really inclusive in my pregnancy. And so I was like, that's kind of weird. Okay, so I was really kind of nervous because she's a boxer lab mix, and so I was really nervous to kind of bring the baby home because she just kind of was really standoffish my entire pregnancy. So when she went for her checkup while I was pregnant, they let us know that she was sick and she possibly had cancer, but they weren't for sure yet because her levels were so like up and down. And so it was just like they were going to try different medicines and stuff like that, and if the levels went down, then she was probably fine. If the levels stayed the same or elevated, then it was probably, sorry you guys, I need to turn my phone off. So it was just like, okay, like we needed to see her levels. So the medicine was really expensive. They were like $80 to $90 a bottle, and they were only like a 30-day supply. But you know, she was so worth it to us. And so, you know, it was just like, okay, you know, we're gonna keep trying all the medicines, we're gonna keep, you know, doing whatever we need to do. Also, we had already done 2 TPL surgeries, so that's basically like, from what the vet told me, like a torn ACL in a human, but for the dogs. Those surgeries are not cheap. They're like over $3,000 a surgery, and we did 2 of those. So you do the math, plus every single month we're paying for her subscription for the doctors through Banfield, through PetSmart. So a lot of money and time was invested, and so we were like, you know, we've not come this far to let her go. So we tried all the medicines. When the baby came home, she just kind of was like really like subtly aggressive, but not like to where I thought like she would harm her. And Olivia had kind of said like, hey, you know, have you noticed that, like, you know, her behavior around the baby and stuff. Like, we were just so cautious with the dogs and the baby. And so I was like, no, you know, I hadn't really noticed. I think I was just in a little bit in denial as well, because, you know, that's my fur baby, but then this is my human baby, you know. So things kept happening, and so little by little we had Nala like in a little like walker thing, which she was too little to have in there, but you know, she was okay in it. At the time we thought it was okay. And so Bella came out, and she kind of like put her head up like towards Nala like that, and so we moved her away because she did it kind of aggressively. And so after that, we weren't comfortable with Bella with the baby by herself. And so we just were on really high alert with Bella and the baby. And then we got the call when we took her for her annual checkup this year that the cancer was confirmed and that she was really sick. And so the doctors were like, well, you can basically like buy time with her. At this point, the medicines, you can stop them because they're not helping. Her levels are only getting worse. You can either, you know, just kind of have time with her and you can basically like wind up waking up and she's dead, or you can go ahead and like put her down so she's not suffering, or you can just really kind of wait it out. But the longer you wait it out, and our doctors were so amazing, they were so compassionate, empathetic, just so much knowledge as well. And we, you know, their last option was, you guys just kind of wait it out, but the longer you wait it out, you're gonna see her suffer because she's not running as much, she's not interacting as much, she's getting more bitter, which is kind of like why she's not being as affectionate. And so, you know, we were like, you know, we're just gonna kind of sleep on it. We didn't want to make a rush decision because, you know, we didn't want to see her suffer, we didn't want to wake up and find her dead, but we also didn't want to have her hurt the baby because she would never hurt us. And so maybe about 2 weeks later, we were in Nala's room. She was on her tummy time mat, which is over here, and Bo would like always like sit with his paws like front, his legs spread out, and he would sit in the doorway of Nala's room. He was very protective of her in her space. And so he was sitting there, and all of a sudden we heard Bella's like little footsteps because we had hardwood in our living room, and we heard Bella's footsteps, and we're like, okay, Bella's coming, you know, we need to be on alert. And all of a sudden she tried to charge at Nala, and so her and Bo got into a fight. And so I had spaghetti. I remember it was like yesterday, like I screamed. Olivia like picked Nala up in her, like the whole mat picked Nala up off the ground and made sure she was okay. Bo and Bella had a fight for a second, and when I screamed, they scattered. I had spaghetti. I spilled spaghetti everywhere in Nala's room, all in her crib and everything. It was crazy. And so I was like so shaken up because I was like, oh my God. At that point we realized, oh my goodness, she just like in front of us like blatantly tried to hurt the baby. And so Olivia was like not comfortable with it. She was like, I'm not comfortable with Bella, with the baby at all. And I knew in my heart of hearts what had just happened and what we needed to do, but I didn't want to do it. So when I called her vet and explained what happened and stuff like that, they explained that that could be a symptom of her cancer because she's just so short-tempered. She's so like, just like disinterested and like having these little outbursts. And so, we made the decision because she was also starting to decline at that point, like within 2 weeks, like already showing signs of declining. So we made the decision to put her down, and that was the most traumatizing thing I think I've ever witnessed as far as with animals, because it's like you're going, and like the whole day I knew like what was gonna happen. So it's like you're sitting there like you don't have any more time, so I'm like sitting there trying to give her as many kisses, as many hugs. When we went to the vet, I'm so sorry guys, when we went to the vet, like they asked us did we want to stay in the room, and we said yes. And so, because we didn't want her to go to heaven by herself, and so we stayed in the room. And just seeing like her looking like she knew it was gonna happen. And we had the baby with us in her stroller, and they gave her, they shaved off her arm, and they gave her a shot, and they said okay, she's gonna kind of calm down. And then they gave her the shot to stop her heart, and she started like fluttering. She was like and then she just went to sleep. And it was one of the hardest things to see my baby not be alive anymore. And so I want to say, for people that lose animals, whether it's a cat, a dog, whatever, a parrot, they becoming part of your family. Like I said, I had her since 2009, but by myself since 2013. And so it's just like I felt like a part of me was gone. We got her ashes, which I'll put a picture of here, and the staff was so sweet. They gave us back her ashes with a card with her paw print, and it was so beautiful. We still have it downstairs, but we're actually gonna bury it very soon to close that chapter. But a part of you like almost never heals, because it's like your kid is gone. And so when we came home, Bo, which is our second dog, he's a pit, he just was like looking for his sister. So we, you know, it was so painful for me to look at like her leash, her collar, her cage, like just her bed. It was so painful. So I had Olivia take all of it. And for those that lose, I wanted to finish the thought of like, when people lose a pet, it's not a joke. Like, don't minimize their pain, because it's so painful. It's like a part of them is gone, because that's who they had. Some of the time a pet is somebody's support system. So be there for them, pray for them, ask them if they need anything, because it is a tough thing. So our boy dog, he just was like looking around like, where is she? And then he started noticing like her stuff was being taken away. And so you could tell like it kind of shook him up. And so our boy dog was the one we were concerned about, because he's had temperament issues before. He does not get along. He did not get along with other dogs and things like that. So we were extremely nervous for him and the baby. But he was actually, when she was smaller, very good with her. He would sniff her. I posted a picture. He like sniffed her. He would be around her with no issue, until she got to be a few months old. And I don't know, we've done research, but we're not sure. And his vet has said that it could be when she gets older, she had like a baby scent. As she got older and was a few months, she got a new scent maybe. So maybe that's kind of what threw him off. And so when he started being subtly aggressive, like very aggressive. And so we were like, oh my gosh, here we go again. Like, I'm kind of numb at this point, because I'm like, I just lost Bella. Like, I'm numb. So I'm just like, I don't know what else to do. Like, I don't want to lose him as well. And so he got worse and worse, because he has bitten somebody before. And so we were like, and he's so strong. He was so tiny to us. He was a smaller pit, but he's still so mighty. And so, you know, if he would have bit the baby, it would have not been a good situation. And so we started, we noticed one day Olivia had the baby. Bella was more my dog. Bo was Olivia's baby, but he was my baby too. But him and Olivia had like a super close bond. And so one day Olivia was holding the baby, and all of a sudden he just started growling, like a super aggressive growl. So we were like, yeah, maybe, you know, it was Olivia, maybe it was, we don't know. So we were like, we're gonna just wait, back off, and we'll try again. She went down to let him sniff her again, and he got so aggressive it scared me. So he started to also, over the years, if I get too close to Olivia sometimes, like we're playing or whatever, he'll snap at me, but he's never shown a sign of aggression with Olivia, ever. And so I would always be like on edge. Like sometimes when Olivia went to work, I'd be super nervous, especially with the baby, because I'm like, if it's just me and the baby and he does something, like, oh my God. So I just was already on edge all the time with Bo. And so when he did that, Olivia was like, absolutely not. But we did not want to experience the pain of putting him down. So we called 101 shelters, like, you know, shelters, rescues, pit bull rescues, every single place we could in the state of Alabama. We didn't realize, because of COVID, people don't have money to pay their bills, so they don't have money to take care of a pet. So every time we called a place, they said, you know, our shelters are full because people are turning in animals left and right. Like, nobody had space. And so when we called the pound, they said because he's an aggressive dog, you know, we knew we knew, like when they hear pit bull, they think aggression. So they kept asking, like, why are you trying to get rid of him? Why are you trying to get rid of him? So we were trying to make excuses and just like, you know, we just have a baby, just have a lot going on. And so they kind of, I think, knew that we were trying to cover for him. So they kept saying, like, if he's aggressive and we come get him, he's going to be put down. So, like, all roads kept leading to him being put down. And so he kept being aggressive, like, the whole day. So, like, he wound up having to stay in the cage. Like, we were scared of him. It was so scary. And so we were scared for the baby. I was scared for myself. And so we wound up having to make the decision to put him down. And because of the first situation with Bella, it was so painful that we could not stay in the room. We did not get his ashes. But here, the crematory that did Bella, because she was cremated, they cremated him as well. And they sprinkle their ashes in a pet garden and cemetery. So we are going to take Bella's ashes and bury them with him in the cemetery here very soon. So they're together. But it is just, it was one of the hardest times. Like within like 2 or 3 months, we lost both babies. And you know, I just want to say to the parents out there, if you know you start seeing signs of aggression from your dog, you know, talk to your vet, but make the best decision for your family. It was so difficult, and a lot of people and like friends around me were like, you know, why is that a difficult decision? Like, that's your human child, like that's just a dog. But to me, they weren't. They were my babies. It's like I felt like I birthed them almost. That's how close I was with my babies. But I miss them so much every single day. I have days where like I just want to go get another dog, but I'm like, I know that's just temporary. I'm not ready, and my anxiety is so, when it comes to dogs, I have like bad like just like memories because of how they were aggressive with the baby. And she's getting older, so we said once she's old enough to walk and talk, maybe when she's like 1 or 2, maybe 3, but we want to have another baby, so we kind of want to wait till they get old enough as well. So maybe when they're old enough to have like some chores and responsibilities, we'll get another dog. But for right now, you know, we're enjoying our freedom because right now we don't have to, it's a lot of extra bills. Our dog's, well, Bo, he had allergies, so that was medicine, allergy shots, the highest level of food that you can have that was healthy for them, a lot of walks, them playing outside if we went out of town because we love to travel. That's boarding costs. So there were some positives that came out of it, but none of it outweighs me having them. I'd much rather have those costs than them be gone. But I just want to say I love you guys. Thank you for you watching this video. I have so much more content coming up. I am going to be doing a lot of mommy content, which I'm so excited about. If you want us to do a house tour, let me know. Thank you for everybody that has like waited, has asked me like, when are you coming back to YouTube, that has prayed for us, that's checked on us. A lot has gone on, but so much is happening in our lives that are about to change, and I'm so excited. So I love you guys. See you later.